Something very weird's happening. I've lost my ability to monetize for some reason. Hopefully it's just a glitch. Anyway, let's get some juice into this before we lose access. We've got 1 watt going into it, and it's the wires heating up. I'm gonna have to use chunkier wires. Creature, any idea why they would do that? It's not like I have profanity. Oh shit. What did I say about profanity? Wait, what's that over there? Oh, it's just a reflection, I think. Yeah, that's a reflection off on the right. It's just the... where is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's just the... Okay, one area that's interesting... Come on, don't... Okay. There's one area that's getting my interest, and that's just here, but... Well, it's on the 3v8 line. I don't think we've got a CPU type short here. I'm just gonna get my towel. Hey Daniel. Okay, why the hell is that ring glowing like that? It's glowing because of the heat coming from the board. Unless there's heat being developed underneath there. Still at it. What? That makes no sense. Unless that is the short. Maybe that is the short after all. This a physical board short. And there's just something off to the left too. That makes no sense. Why are they glowing? Those two are really glowing. Let me turn off the power and see if they persist. Holy crap, they're dissipating. I think. Are they? No, they're staying there. I don't understand why that's so dominant. I've got a towel over the top. Here, look, I'll show you. See? No, we've got nothing. That's the thing. We've got nothing going through, so I don't know why it's there. I've just turned off all the lights in the room. The only thing I can think of is it's actually reflecting back light that's been emitted by the camera itself. I'll just lift up one of the legs. It'll probably go away. It should go away. If I can find a leg. Yeah, I'm wondering whether the camera itself has... I can't find a leg. Ah, here we go. Yeah. It's just, it must be reflecting back from the camera itself. Well, while we're under here, we may as well fire it up. Are the NANDs just reflective? Yeah, they're just being reflective. All the things you can see lighting up are just reflections. Stuff you can start to see glowing there, that is the cable and the, what do you call it, the alligator clips. Oh, okay, now that looks like the Wi-Fi chip again. Or is it just reflective too? Okay, hold that position. Yeah. Well, this camera must be emitting quite a bit of noise, infrared. Okay, we're starting to get a very slight build up here. Just starting to notice now. Let's see if I can find my way up. About there. Somewhere around here, and that's not good. Don't die on me now, camera. Come on. Camera just had a bad day. Okay, we're back. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna crank it up a little more. Okay, 1.3 watt. Yeah, we're definitely getting some heat coming up there. Or at least I thought we did. I don't like what I'm seeing there with that heat development. Just trying to find my way with my finger. Yeah, it's starting to show up now. There's a ghostly little figure. Okay, lights on. That is looking very ominous. So that's it right there. And we turn it off and it should quickly just fade out. Yep. So whatever it is in that zone there, which means the way it's dissipating, I should say the way it diffusely came through, it gives me a bad feeling. Because just here is this. Okay, it could actually be one of these caps in that case. Alright, looks like we're going to have to peel back that top layer after all. There's some hope, maybe. Because it's definitely not directly on that U8100. So what was I looking for originally? Oh yeah, I was looking for the knife so I could try and sort of maybe cleanly lift it. Oh, damn you. Now the camera wants to play silly buggers. Just give me a moment, this camera might come good. Funnily enough, it's not really the camera per se that's at fault, it's the fact that the capture card doesn't like the it doesn't like the signal it spits out, and it misses it most of the time. And be right back. Seriously, why do you do this to me? I buy good quality gear, and this is the crap that I get put through. And for some reason the Blackmagic has no trouble with this camera, but the Kona card, they like hate each other. Let's go into quad mode, because at least then it'll fire up in here. There we go. Yeah, like I said, there's something in the firmware with the Kona capture card, and it just doesn't like the Chinese camera, microscope camera, even though it's actually a pretty expensive camera. Okay, so this is point of concern here. Pretty sure is that way? Yeah, that's where we're looking. So this area here is what we need to now scope out. Zoom in and have a look. See if we can spot anything. Trying to think which side. It was more top orientated, so it's going to be down this zone. I have in the past had a couple of situations where I'm just going to microscope. These little puff caps have actually been the culprits. Yeah, I get that when I first start OBS in the morning or whatever, and then I just sort of go in and review the source and it comes good. But the camera for the microscope, for some reason, it doesn't behave that. It does behave that way, but in addition to that, there's also this other quirk that it has. And like I said, it never happens with the Blackmagic card, only the Kona. But I prefer the Kona card because its encoding quality seems to be just that little bit better when it works. Oh geez, no. The reason why I don't want to use the HDMI switcher is because then I'd lose the ability to have multiple concurrent streams on the one scene. See, at the moment I can put all 4 HDMI inputs onto the one screen. one scene rather. I really, really hope it's one of those caps in there, because by God, if it's not, then we've got an internal board short. So what I'm going to do is I will put the power in, we'll use the infrared and see if anything shows up. At least we know we can use 3 amps. And now you're not switching back? My God. Yeah, that's it. Tomorrow I am regressing the system back to a 5.9 kernel. It was running around about 0.4 or 0.6. Hey Bunty. Okay, let's see, here we go. We haven't got any power on this at the moment. Oh yeah, we got a firecracker there. I'm going to pin that down by using alcohol. It's pretty sure it's one of these leading ones here at the front. If I had to guess, okay, take your pick, but I'm going to guess it's this one here. Designer Linikov, no thanks. I like my sanity where it is, thanks. Nope, I'm wrong. Something in there is lighting up, but I don't know where it is. Geez, do I have to bring out the freeze spray? Tony, it's one of the 6s, 6020 I think it is. Oh, 6.20. Alright, well it lights up, but I think it must be a very... See, it's all relative. The way I've got this infrared camera processing set up, as in when I read the data and I process it, is that I don't go for the absolute temperatures, I go for the relatives. Because I don't really know whether I'm going to be dealing with a 5 degree above ambient or a 50 degree above ambient. So I just collate all the data and then pick out a percentile, like the top 5%. You're on 634 of 295 pending up. Oh, geez, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's not like it's the oldest. It's not like it's the oldest, not like the newest, but it's sure as hell giving me a hard time. Okay, free spray for all you bastards. You know how much I hate free spray. Let's go. See, I can't even get the flippin'... Oops. It melts before I get it. There it is, found it. Bam. Just there. But yeah, that is why freeze spray is pretty useless around this place. There's our culprit. This is only 230, unlike the 470 I used on that poor iPad. Okay. So now we've got to get that out of here. I'm kind of curious what that part is, as in what it's for. Schematics, using my marvelous software. Alright, that is just a generic PMU buck cap. Interesting placement. And that is on 3v8, yeah. Creature, that could have been because there was alcohol down there, and the alcohol would have obviously evaporated off, and then we would have just been left with moisture from the alcohol interacting with the atmosphere. So that's probably why it seemed a little worse. Right. Now you're probably wondering why I'm being pedantic of the shield. Even though it is a PMIC and it should be okay, I really just am not in the mood to take chances at the moment. You know, sometimes you just get beaten too many times and you go, I'm not taking the chance. So we're just going to cut ourselves a little custom shield. I can't get a good glob of solder in there, it's too tight. Anyway, so we'll just make a shield out of the excess stencil metal. Overshot it. That's poor quality. Poor quality workmanship then. Then we'll use the parallel pliers to form a nice, completely stupid looking bend. That is naturally, of course, a slight bit too big. Wow. Honestly, you couldn't do that if you tried. So we just do an adjustment. Micro's had his insulin, yeah. That was about an hour or two ago. There we go. Perfecto. And you can't see. Yeah. You can see how the original width I had was just going to be a bit too big, so this is good now. I'm just going to give it a little bit of flux, not a lot. At some point I'll use that CNC machine, yes, I agree. Extractor. Actually, what I will try and do, I'm just going to preheat a bit. but I'm going to put a couple of dots of leaded solder on there just to give it a chance to pickle it, because otherwise I'm at risk of damaging these inductors, particularly these ones. And these ones are really annoying to find. I mean, okay, I've got a donor board, but I don't want to have to do it because, you know, you fix one and then you got to fix another and then you got to fix another. There we go. Now, let us look at this cap. Nearly lost it. Well, that is not much. Oops. That is not much of an imperfection. It hasn't even visually sort of broken through. Like when I tilt it, you can just see it, but yeah, that's not an easy. That wouldn't have been an easy one visually to pick. It is on the side, so I suppose if I was doing my 45 angle, I might have found it, but not likely actually. I just realized why, because either side of it, it had those inductors, and those inductors would have made it impossible for me to see. Yeah, there's no way I would have been able to see the side of that cap with those inductors there. And the cover, yeah. So like I said, I'm usually very disinclined to remove the covers, but when I can't find anything, then fine, I have to get in there and do it. There's still too much solder down there before I put the fresh one in there. In fact, I don't think I'll bother putting the fresh one in. Maybe I should. It's just that if you remember the schematic, this rail has probably 30-40 caps on it. So what is that? And these are all ganged together. I suppose it is a 10 microfarad, but anyway. So 10 microfarad, 63402. 402 caps. 1063s are a very common one I replace. I suppose we should check that we don't have a short too. Yeah, that's the other thing making me sort of think I should change, being that close to the PMIC. These are its Breathen all along here. And yeah, we don't have a short anymore. I mean, critical is subjective. It's just a case of, well, you can't run it in quite a big an envelope of operating parameters. You have to run a little closer to where it wants to be, in theory. I'm pretty sure component variations themselves would cover that, but anyway. Could be a case of all the other components are slightly below spec, and that was the one cap that was keeping the whole thing in spec. Doesn't really play out in the law of averages, but you never know. Wrong tweezers. Oh well. and done. It looks like that was the NAND after all. You know, I shouldn't speak like that because, quite frankly, there could still be secondary issues that we haven't even begun to deal with. I don't imagine there will be, but like I said, you could always tick off the universe and the universe decides, fine, well, here we go, here's a collect 4 Uno card for you. And yes, we did put that, what do you call it? That shunt resistor back on. So I've got to put this back into the cooling system. Hey, McRams. Wow, I really don't have any light around here, do I? It's a bit dark, mind you. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it's doing okay, actually. It's surprising the amount of lighting I have here. Like, I've got two, what are they, 100 watt? One's a 120, one's a 100. They're the spotlights. And then I've got two 60 watt panels, so it's another 120. So overall I've got three, let's call it 300 watts worth of lighting coming down. And then there's the room light itself, which I haven't got on at the moment, and a backing light that I haven't got. But just over the workshop bench, there's 300 odd watts of lighting, and it often feels like it's not enough. But I don't want it too much brighter because it blinds me. So here comes the true test. Let's see if we get 20 volts. Oh, we get nothing. Come on, give me 20. Yay, there we go. We got 20. You see what I mean about the current though? See, that current, it never went over, you know, the 300 milliamp mark. That's why I was thinking whatever I was thinking. The worst thing is now we've sullied up the board with all the stupid alcohol. Yeah. There's a wizard, hurry. Wait, no. Hagrid says you're a wizard, hurry. Yeah. And this wizard hates the way that they do these Wi-Fi connectors on these boards. And then trap that cable there and there, and then you get that one trapped, and then you got the Wi-Fi flipping keyboard, and then you go, why doesn't it fall down? It's because then you realise you got the trackpad snared. Yep, everything gets snared on these ones. It's a very pale ale indeed. Equally not good for your health. At least if I was using ethanol, that'd be like fine, you know. A drop for the board, a drop for me. Even though I don't drink, but we'll play along with that idea. So I wonder if I should leave a message to the person who thought it was a NAND and just sort of go, it wasn't the NAND, it was this. And this is why sometimes, yeah, I do like to hear what other people say, because, you know, there's always a good chance of a good idea in there. But at the same time, if you feel fairly confident about what your reasoning is as to why what you think it is, then you need to follow it through rather than getting distracted and taking another path. Yeah, at least if you follow through on what you're thinking it's going to be, and then it's not, that's fine. You've eliminated it. You can move on, try the other person's suggestion, but you got to test yours first. Unless the other person can come up with really good reasoning. Like I know Muerto with his R8111 test and things like that, when I was sitting there thinking I had a different sort of situation. Yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, don't try not to feel too pressured by other people to drop everything and chase theirs. And often they're not actually trying to make you drop it. They're just eager to say, hey, I think I know what it might be. But everybody's got to take their turn and wait for us to get through the process that we're already following. You have to admit freeze spray. Yeah, well, I wasn't going against freeze spray in that case, but only for that situation. And that's because I was on the wrong side of the chip. I would have eventually got there with the alcohol, as much as I hate the alcohol. But yeah, really I'm not keen on freeze spray in this region because, yeah, it just puts too much water into the board. And you've got, what, a fifth of a second, a tenth of a second to find it. It was just lucky I moved the board while I had it freeze sprayed, and because the warm up was creeping in, and I just happened to move the board, and I saw that that cap was already melted, and I was like, ah. The freeze spray I'm using is this stuff, Electrolube. Non-corrosive refrigerant for rapid cooling components and fault detection. Can also be used for repairing thermosensitive devices, whatever. Cools below 50 Celsius minus. Yeah. What's it say it's actually got in it? FRE 400. I don't think it tells me... What's this? Pull down strip. Oh. Let's pull down the strip. I think I've had this can for a while now. Oops. There we go. I think this is probably just an update language version of that. Should point that away. It doesn't actually... it's just got 0.13% something. Oh, here, 13% per mass. What's 13% per mass? No, I just realised none of this is English. The one that was on there was the English one. But interestingly, this does not specify what that... Oh, here we go. 13% of the contents are inflammable. Pomasa? 13% pomasa? French doesn't have it. None of these languages have it, but these ones... Oh, British one, right, shit. 13% by mass flammable content. I forgot that GB was British. Yep. Arnold, really, believe me, you got to come up here into this weather and to understand why it just doesn't last long. There is, like, it's the middle of winter here, so to speak, and I'm still running around in shorts, and I'm still running the air conditioners at time. It's just that hot. Like right now, I think the ambient's about 24. And the humidity is off through the roof too. Here we go. Plug it in. Oh, that is a beautiful noise to have. You were born in it. Okay, we've got a mouse cursor, we've got a living display. Yay! Yeah, Civ Life, it is a bit like that. I suppose because we're a little bit close to the equator here. I mean, to be fair, we're closer to the Tropical Capricorn than we are to the equator. But yeah, I mean, obviously as you get closer to the equator, the more you don't have seasons until you end up having just 2 summers. You have summer and not quite summer, then back to summer every 6 months. Okay, well, that's fixed. Geez, that was a fun one. I suspect this might have happened a lot quicker if I had taken that shield off in the first place. But like I said, I generally don't like to do that. Particularly on these M1 machines, because most of the time what's under that shield is usually okay. But it wasn't this time, so that's an update to the mental database. That if you have an intense short, maybe have another look. The other thing is, yeah, now that I think about it, there is a notice somewhere that pulsing 400 milliamp shorts may be PMIC related, so I'll blame myself for that one for not remembering that point. Well, I don't know if I'm inside or whatever with the Tropical Capricorn. I just know the Tropical Capricorn runs through, I think it's Rockhampton, and we're about 700 kilometers north of Rockhampton. Anyway, it's past midnight. Thank you all for your attendance. Thank you for putting up with my jibber jabber. And hopefully you didn't get too frustrated by that. If you did, please see your local psychiatrist or psychologist. Take your pick, whether you like drugs or whether you like talking. Choose the one that suits you. Anyway, I'm out of here before I make too much more of an idiot of myself. And I'll see you all next time. I'll catch you later.